Welcome to all of you. Grateful again to be able to spend this evening with all of you. This particular topic is also very dear to me. So hopefully in the next 15 minutes, we will be able to draw some inspiration together via this topic. By the way, those who make these flyers are amazing. If you look at that cat, Anna, he is looking at it and very surprised. What is he looking at? And I guess many a times we also feel the same, don't we? If we sincerely look inside, it's like we are not sure what we find, and say, oh boy, that is also me. But it captures that moment very beautifully. One major or very beautiful way Yogananda ji has given uh, possibility to introspect or look inside is an allegory of Mahabharata. He talked about different characters presenting different energies within ourselves, and then but he starts with one first. He calls like introspection, the type of introspection. Before we even begin uh, our practice of an introspection, with that he said that the character which represents that energy is that of Sanjaya. And most of you, probably all of you, know the story of Mahabharata. And if you know what was the important part of Sanjaya, that the two particular things sort of stand out when we think of him. He was not biased. When asked question, no matter whether it's the Rashtra was asking me a question, but he was not trying to please him. He was just reporting what he was observing without any bias, and then the second important part is non-judgment. He was not giving his opinions about it. So he was not polishing it. He was just reporting truth in its purest form. And when we talk about introspection, even when we attempt it, I'm sure all of you have done some kind of a self-reflection. And I would like you to reflect on what I'm saying about your reflection. It's like many of the times we are neither unbiased nor non-judgmental. And it is not how do you say, it is not like I don't mean to demean our effort, but it's important to understand this part of it also. Simple situation like that, like someone says something and we become upset or we angry. The immediate response is to that person, isn't it? Like, it's like, why is that he or she shouldn't be saying that to me? Stop saying that, and then all of a sudden, I'll feel better. The moment that person is a problem, we have become judgment. We become that person, and I shouldn't do that. No, that is not the right thing to do. There is a bias too. We are all spiritual mature, at least to a certain degree. Yes or no? Yes. And so now what happens is like we say, no, no, no. The problem isn't the other person. There is a very funny way a saint used to say, if you have a problem, he would say, you are the problem. So I think to a certain extent we resonate with that. So even if we say many a times, no, 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 it is like the people, like that person or the situation is a problem, to a certain degree we understand that it is us we need to change. We keep at least sharing this. So I hope that to a certain degree we believe in truth of that also. I can't change the other person. But now what happens? All of a sudden we say, yeah, I have this problem. I got angry again. I got upset again. You see, again, there is not much of non-judgment there. The more we get upset or more get we angry, we again start becoming judgmental about, okay, I'm not perfect yet. If I ask you, no, I'm sure at some point you must have written like a spiritual diary at the end of the day. I used to write that. I didn't write it for a long time, but now sometimes I look at those pages, all the faults have been listed there. It's so depressing. See, it's like I got angry again. I got robbed. This one where I failed. This is like a list of failures I'm putting it. But there was nothing inspirational about it. And it's a good start. Good start meaning at least we're acknowledging that there is something I noticed which is which is not something I'm very proud of. But That why I say that is only just the beginning and not the end, because you see, what is it bringing to us? It's just that I got angry today or I got upset today, and then maybe one day I'll do better. But the problem just remained just the way it was there. I'm sitting on a chair. I'm sure some of you also, let's say on a sofa or whatever. If there is a nail there, some old sofa, no, they don't do a good job. They didn't know. They were probably exploring how to make a good sofa. And all of a sudden you sit on it one day and then it pokes you. And oops, oh, you know that there is a nail. Now, what would we do now? A simple solution. Like I'll sit a little on the side so that I don't get poked by it. Yeah, very quick fix. So I'm trying to sit like that, and now all of a sudden I am again got engrossed in the satsang or talking to someone or watching something, and I forgot that there is a nail. Again, I shifted back. Again, it poked me. Now I'm trying to remember that there is a nail. There is a nail. I should. So then I what to do? I try to put a little more extra cushioning so that. But then I sit it 1-2 days is fine, and again the nail has gone through that cushioning and started poking me. I'm still trying to figure out what should I do now. I'm trying to remember every time I sit on the chair, there is a nail, so I should be careful. So I'm trying every possible way to avoid it. And now all of a sudden friends come, and then in some joyful way, the friend pushes me on the chair. What do I do? Again, sit, it gets poked. You see, so many things I tried. You will see, are you out of your mind? There's a simple solution to this. What would you say? Fix the chair, get the nail out. Then you don't need to plan all these things and all of it. See, when we talk about all these different difficult things, like anger or things which get upset, or for that matter, we're talking about healing. Healing meaning what? There is a wound somewhere, isn't it? We look at anger and we say, okay, that is the wound, but that isn't the wound. You see, we are always angry at something. We are upset at something. And we are saying, I shouldn't get upset. I shouldn't get angry. But will that happen? It will happen only when we looked at that nail, when we looked at what is causing that anger inside me. So the first thing, don't worry about if you're getting angry or upset or any particular so-called negative emotion we talk about. They're not bad in themselves. We need to be detective in a sense. We need to be curious to find out why on earth I'm getting angry. When Master said very clearly all situations are neutral. Now, how many times during the day we feel this doesn't seem like a neutral situation at all, isn't it? But we don't. What do? The immediate reaction I should make it neutral. We can't, just like by saying it. That's an opportunity to look inside. Why do I feel it is not neutral? I will read something that Master has said, and then we will see if that makes sense to us. He says, by analysis, we see that human troubles are threefolds. Those that afflict the physical body, those that attack the mind, and those that occlude the soul. Disease, old age, death are difficulties of the body. Psychological maladies invade through sorrow, fear, anger, unfulfilled desire, discontentment, hate, any fever of nervous excitation or mental cancer of emotional obsession, and the soul sickness of ignorance, which is the most injurious of all, is the underlying condition that makes possible all other troubles. The soul sickness of ignorance. Now, we don't say, I am not ignorant. I am a student of yoga. What kind of ignorance I have? So look at that word more deeply. Sometimes the English language doesn't capture the true essence of what it means. No, literal translation of that is from the word avidya, meaning there's something that we haven't understood. Something is there. We talk about attachment. Something like, let's say the underlying is like I'm attached to as simple as my car. The moment I get a scratch on it, I get upset. Now, if I apply the nail analogy, I'll say, okay, I will not take the car out anywhere. That's not possibility. I'll always keep it covered. I'm trying to fit every possible thing, but it is getting somehow or the other, Divine Mother is finding to get that scratch. What I'm actually trying to avoid in this situation, it isn't the car. Actually, that's the least of my trouble. It's just that because of that scar, I feel very bad. My problem is I feel bad. It isn't the car. At least when I understand this part, then I understand. I now look at, why am I so upset? I'm upset is because I'm too attached to it. Is it enough? No, I'm attached. What could I do? Like, it is my car. I need to be attached. No, who else will be attached to my car? It's not my neighbor. Then we understand the more looking. Again, this is the journey that we individually have to do. But we allow ourselves to be upset of it. Just because we are spiritual aspirants doesn't make us away or non affected by these emotions. In fact, these emotions actually point something which we are holding close to our hearts, which is not the final truth. And what is not the final truth in this very simple example? Can attach to the thing which is of the nature perishable. Even if you put the car under the garage for all your lifetime, it is still going to deteriorate. You see, a simple thing like that, when we realize and we say, okay, I don't need to be so concerned about it because now I have a better and a little higher perspective. You see, this is the final goal of introspection. I have understood where the root of my suffering is. Until this is where we have actually we found the nail. Now we can take it out. But till the time we have find that nail, we are just trying to avoid that situation going here and there. So three important part. Don't worry. As Master says in this thing, second thing is the mental, or he says the mental suffering, which where he categorize all of those like anger, getting upset, or all of it. And if you see, most of our effort goes in, I do not want to feel this way. What do I do so that I overcome my anger? What do I do so that I can feel good right away? But we don't actually, in that, we lose the opportunity to going to that third level very seriously. But this is because not of any other circumstances. It is not also because you are bad or anything. You are holding dear of something which is not the final truth. Is it wrong to be attached to not car, let's say our family? We just recently heard that Naya Swami's Haridas and Roma are going to USA. They are going to not be in Bangalore, and all of a sudden that brought a lot of sadness inside my heart. And maybe many of you know him, or you can resonate with someone basically who is very dear to you. All of a sudden, are not going to be very physically easily accessible. We feel bad. Then what? The next thought comes, maybe I'll go and convince them, don't go. Very naive, very innocent thought, isn't it? But this is based on ignorance again. We understand that we all enjoy each other's company. We all enjoy our own family, our friends, our children, our spouse, our spiritual family. But this also is not permanent. If we want it to be permanent, and from that, if our actions are coming, they're bound to bring a lot of suffering to us. But when we understand that this is not, this is a gift, it will stay as long as it is, it will go when it is time. What will change? Nothing will change, even if you think like that. When we are enjoy this time, we will enjoy it. When it is time to separate, it will bring us pain. Now you will ask me, ki, itna sara bhashan diya, what is the point then? If it is going to bring me anyway that kind of a pain, what it stops is the prolongation of that suffering because of the pain. I don't want you to leave. This is another kind of a pain, you see. When we hold on to things which are of the nature temporal, it will bring more suffering. And that is an optional thing. See, when we look at things to find the finality of that, Where is the root of this situation lies? It points on things. Whenever we suffer, we are standing on things which are not stable. We look at it, we find it. Not only that one situation gets resolved, but in that platform, in that same consciousness, everything will have a possibility to get resolved. So, next time when you sit, don't look for a fault list. This needs fixing, this needs fixing. Find only one thing, because that is our key to find. I have found it. Please thank Master for that. Not for the pain or suffering for that matter. I'll find out, because ignorance is the only thing. Spiritual ignorance is the only thing which binds us from realizing what we are. Don't need to go too far. And we need it, because otherwise we have no idea where to begin this search from. So we need to find that. If we find it during the day, if somebody pokes your button, thank you. Leave that person, leave that situation alone. Go inside, sit with yourself. Will be a little tormenting. Bear with it for some time, because that is the thread which will take you to that nail. The moment the nail is understood, that's the cessation of suffering. That is the beginning of freedom. Thank you all. Let's just take a moment. We close our eyes and then offer this energy of insights, that let all be guided to that space from which they can see clearly the root of that suffering, anything which holds them, binds them. Let's offer a prayer. Divine Mother, thou art omnipresent, thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, all minds, and all souls. Om. 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you again.